I went live and then it just kind of like stopped.
Are we on now?
I don't know. All right, welcome in, I think, to the latest episode. Comments will... I don't know that there's anyone on this damn show, Shane. Things are going great. Things are going great. I'm on the YouTubes right now. I'm seeing if we are live on there. And... Yep, we are live. Okay. All right, trying again here. Attempt number 2. Welcome in That SEC Podcast. I'm your host, Michael Bratton. Go by SEC Mike. And that is, of course, Cousin Shane, who showed up this time. How's it going, brother?
Hey, buddy, what's going on?
I don't know. I literally don't know what's going on. I think I started multiple YouTubes here.
Hey, that's one way to boost the numbers, Mike. You know, just start multiple shows at one time. I thought about that. Like after the YouTube thing comes out, can we just rename it, repackage it, and send it back out there? So,
just do it 24 times a day. Or the numbers will be through the roof, but it's just the same content over and over.
Oh man, I tell you what, brother. Sorry, I've kind of slid into the driveway here. My youngest, she had a softball game, and we're sitting there, and I was like, oh shit, we got to get it going, you know. So we got here. So if you hear any background noise, dogs yelling, that's it. They're getting settled in. They know Cousin Shane's back on the tube.
Right. All right. So what I was trying to say, we got cut off last time, Shane. Presenting sponsor, MyBookie. Head on over to mybookie.ag today. Put in it, and don't forget, most importantly, put in that promo code that. SEC, that's THAT, Shane. What's that going to get you? Double your initial deposit, double your money over at MyBookie with that promo code, that SEC. Your minimum $50 you got to put in, maximum $1,000. So put that $1,000 in, fade Cousin Shane, and you're going to be looking pretty.
Man. Damn, it's back, ain't it? You know, just when I started out 2-0, I was like, what if, Mike? What if I just go undefeated this entire time? But I needed to be brought back to reality a little bit. And I'm still 2-1. So you still made money if you bet with me.
Hey, shout out Shane here. We got Cousin JR again. I mean, every dang show this guy shows up.
Thanks, cuz.
Gifts the memberships. This time to Jordan G. Really appreciate you becoming a member to the channel. And hey, it's that time, Shane. I want to give shout outs. We did it when we started this membership thing. We don't even know what we're doing when it comes to all this. This is all trial and error. But I said, hey, if you sign up for a membership, we're going to be giving out a free shirt to a random winner. How about Cousin Danny? He's in every one of these shows. I think he's in here. I've already saw him in his comments. Reach out to me, Cousin Danny, that SEC podcast at gmail.com. We're going to send you one of our shirts from our store. You can pick whichever one, whatever size you want. And then I'm going to give one more, Shane. Cousin Dakota, big Mizzou fan. He's at all of these
Come
too.
on,
so Cousin Dakota, Cousin Danny, reach out to us at that SEC podcast at gmail.com. We're going to send you a free shirt just for being a cousin.
Hell yeah, man. I love it, brother. I absolutely love it. If you've not got a chance to jump on the store, we got all your team colors and stuff. Pretty cool stuff on there. I think my parents ordered some coffee mugs. They got just about everything on there. So be sure to check us out. And
and maybe you don't want a shirt. Maybe you want a coffee mug. Maybe you want some of the. Just let us know what you want. I'll give it to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Be careful what you...
Within $1 limit. $1 limit here, you know?
They clipped that one.
And then I had one other idea, Shad. This is just something I want to do. I don't want to loop you in here. I know you're a busy man. You may not be able to make it. But I think for the cousins, what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to try to do it once a month. Yeah. And I've literally never done this. So it's all trial and error. But I'm going to do a Zoom with the cousins. Anyone that's official member, I'm going to send them a link. They're going to all be invited. I think it may maximize. I was doing some research. I think only 100 people can jump on at one time. But once a month, I'm going to do a Zoom call with as many damn people as want to join and just hang out. I'm not recording it. It's not going to get posted to YouTube. It's just a little extra. It's like a hangout. I'm thinking like a Friday night hangout, something like that.
Okay.
Now again, we're not going to be able to do this all the time because we're in the season mode and everything like that. But I'm just trying to make as much value for all the cousins out there.
Absolutely, man. Well, make room for me. There better be room at that table.
We
for
only
me.
got room for 99 now.
98. Thank God it's by handles, not weight.
Hey, appreciate you, Glenn. He just gave us $5, but he says,
thanks, cuz.
I enjoy the show. Be attending OU Tennessee football game. Boomer sooner. I'll be there too, Glenn. So maybe we can meet. That'd be great. But hey, Shane, I got an absolutely loaded show here.
All right.
But I know you had a special message you wanted to get out there right before we get going.
Sad one here, man. One of my buddies, he's a little younger than I was, but a great kid. Played at Vanderbilt. Jeff Jennings Jr. He unfortunately he is in a fight for his life right now, man. And the family had sent out a GoFundMe link, and they're needing help because he is doing and I don't. You can follow the page and get more details on this, but they're like I said, in a fight for their life, and this GoFundMe helps the family get to and from. There's a lot of things that insurance just doesn't cover. So one of the greatest athletes to ever come out of my high school. In fact, it seems like it happens right after I graduate. They're like, "Hey, we're going to be good at football," and a lot of that had to do with this man right here. And it was fun watching him play collegiate ball there in Vanderbilt. Just seeing somebody you knew playing Division I, it was wild. So, but if you've got we got a lot of big hearts out there, and if you get on there and look up Jeff Jennings, a lot of Vanderbilt stuff has been posted on it. You can find that GoFundMe link. You can just go to my X handle. You can see it on there, but anything can help that family. And
I'll put a link under the YouTube. I'll pin it to it as soon as this is done, so people can find it.
Thanks, man. Yeah, thanks. Yeah. Like I said, it's never fun, and he's just 39. I mean, he's just a kid, Well, yeah. And he's got the family and everything. So, yeah, anything can help.
Yeah. All right, Shane. Hey, I'm going to give you credit. I got a lot of stuff here. Like I said, we're going to preview a bunch of stuff here. But hey, appreciate you, cousin Jake. He just became a member of the channel.
Thanks, cuz.
But I wanted to throw this out there just because you did. I love any time you have the initiative to throw stuff out there. And this was a great one, Shane. Anybody that missed it on the Twitter feed this morning, cousin Shane put this out there. Which SEC team is getting too much hype? And which one is getting not enough hype? And who do you think the most common, you may have already seen it, but who do you think is the most common responses people said are getting way too much hype?
Oh, what I think. Now, this is not me. This is not my opinion.
Right, I'm saying the responses to it.
Texas.
Texas was in the top 3. There's two other ones.
Oh, okay. Well, there's others. Mizzou.
Mizzou, you nailed it. You're on fire.
And I would say Ole Miss.
3 for 3, Shane. Oh my, you are on one today. You know what?
Oh, brother. No, and again, I did not click on any of these. So, but no, are they right, Mike? Are they right?
That's what I'm saying. So I have a different one. I'm kind of curious if you do. Do you want to go yours first, or you want me to go?
You go first.
Okay, I'm gonna throw them up here. People think I'm damn crazy, or I'm trolling, or maybe a little bit of both here, Shane. But oh no, all my graphics are gone. Just spent all this time uploading. Here we go. I'm going to try to... Boom, Georgia. There's your answer, Shane. Overrated again. Mighty Georgia. That's why I've knocked them down in the power rankings here. But I don't know, Shane. I saw them get whipped physically by Kentucky. Mm-hmm. I saw a team that couldn't block anybody. Carson Beck looked like he was struggling mightily. So, again, will Georgia get this corrected? More than likely, but I think Georgia is living off reputation because we got no respect for Clemson. So
No.
since when is that a good win? Now all of a sudden people are saying, "Oh, that's the best damn win in the country." I ain't buying it. I think Georgia's getting overhyped based on what they've done in years past, just based on the 3 weeks that we've seen.
Yeah, boy, that's a good one. That's a good one. And it's tough to argue because anybody that watched, I mean, everybody watched Kentucky, especially when they found out Kentucky was about to win that thing. They jumped
Right.
on. And here we've painted a picture. Georgia's the greatest team in the country by a landslide, and they're fighting for their life with a team that just got their ass kicked by South Carolina. And that's not a knock on Carolina. It's just where I'm at here with the power rankings. So I could see that. I could see the argument there. There's some worried folks out there, but then there's the Georgia fans that said, "Hey, we needed this. We need a little humble pie to kind of wake up and get this thing rolling." Because that humble pie, unfortunately, I felt like came in the SEC championship last year, and they didn't have a chance to redeem themselves. They've got plenty of time to redeem themselves, but yeah, it's tough to say. Number one team in the country is
Not
maybe
anymore.
getting,
Not in the AP poll.
well, yeah, no, that's yeah, that's true. I
So
would say,
so who do you got as overrated so far?
yeah. Well, I was near and dear. I was pretty damn close to this team Saturday, but that's LSU Tigers, man. I think when you're what are they now? AP top 15.
I think 16, something like
So
that.
they were 16 coming into that game, and I've not seen one football game on their schedule right now. They're 2-1, but I've not seen one game I was impressed or one game that I thought they were a 16th team in the country.
Right.
I'm not sold that USC is a good football team. I'm sure as hell not sold that Nichols is, and I know that score's a little deceiving. That was a damn football game for 3 quarters, but South Carolina got robbed Saturday, and if they would have lost that, we'd have an LSU team. Their only signature wins an FCS opponent that they managed to score more touchdowns in the fourth quarter. So I think the hot train is a little bit crazy on Kelly and company down there.
Yeah, and what you know what this is, folks? He goes to one South Carolina tailgate. All of a sudden,
I sucked it up, man.
South Carolina's his squad and all that, but
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
It's that. It's a part of that, but then again, what have they done, Mike? Now
Yeah.
I can't say it, you're not. You've been down on LSU.
Right.
It's not like you just.
You don't got to convince me, Shane.
I know you are out, but you were trying to tell me, and maybe this should be an apology, Mike. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for not listening to your great wisdom in the offseason. You are correct. LSU's in trouble.
Man, I'm trying to. Sorry, I'm struggling over here. All my stuff went
Yeah.
away, but yeah, that's right where I'm at, Shane. So I'm just thankful you've come over to the good side. You know what?
Well, and again, I'm not saying that they can't redeem themselves. I can't say.
I think Saturday, and I've said this, I think Saturday could be a turning point for LSU.
Yeah.
I really do.
Well, they've had turning points the last 2 seasons, and maybe this was the game this year that kind of woke up that locker room, if you will, because they got talent, brother. They're super talented.
Yeah.
And if they established the running game, something I've been bitching about for 3 weeks, So they finally got that going, and it's like maybe this was the launch pad that LSU needed. But also, you could say the same thing about Georgia. Again, the wake-up call they needed to almost get embarrassed. I'm not saying almost. They did get embarrassed. They lost. They won the game, but they lost a lot of respect during that football game, and they're going to have to earn that back.
Yeah, they lost my respect. I'll tell you that, Shane. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
All right, no. Now here's what I'm trying to upload this, Shane, and it's giving me issues here. I think I finally got it here, but there's been a lot. We got games to preview, but there's just been so much going on here, Shane. So I really wanted to start with this because this is such a hot topic here, not only in the state of Arkansas, but all across college football and at several other SEC states. Let's kick it over. This is another Cousin Shane clip. Anytime Shane sends me something, I'm like, that means this man wants it played. This is Hunter Yurachek, Arkansas AD, speaking at the Little Rock Touchdown Club.
Yeah.
Begging the fans, give us more money, please, please, please. Well, Shane, sorry, it says it's not playing for anybody, so apologies on that. But basically, Hunter Yurachek just said Ole Miss got 5,000 people in their collective. We got 1,000. And he says the people that you think of that own Walmart, that own Tyson, they ain't going to pay for this. So he's got a plan, Shane. All we need 10,000 people across the great state of Arkansas to give us, what's he say, $100?
$100.
$100 a month, 10,000 of you, give us more money, and we can be up there. We can compete with the Ole Misses. And I sit here, Shane, and I say, Hunter Yurachek, you make $1.25 million. Sam Pittman, you make 6.2. And I don't want to hear about we need this, we need that. And I get it. I mean, it's a game where you pay, but I mean, there's so many other examples, Shay. I mean, did you see the clip of Mike Gundy? They asked him, I think it was like a linebacker. They're like, what'd you see in that linebacker? And he's like, well, he's came from D2. We could afford him.
Yeah.
Arkansas's got more money NIL than Oklahoma State.
Yes.
Oklahoma State just beat you.
Yeah.
Who's got more NIL money, Shane? Mississippi State or Toledo? It's a country mile. It's Mississippi State's got more. So the money ain't going to solve all these issues. And you cannot ask your great fans, if you keep putting a losing product on the field, to give more and more and more. They're already paying for tickets. They're paying for parking. They're paying for concessions. Pay. I think this is ridiculous. And remember, this is a guy, he got mad. Of course, it didn't really work out with KJ, but he got mad that KJ Jefferson stayed in college instead of going to the NFL because he said, well, he found out he'd make more money in college than the NFL. Like, how crazy is this sport? Even though he was the face of your damn franchise last year.
Oh, we can't ask the Waltons. We can't ask the Tysons. Shit, Mike, I spend $100 in Dino Nuggies every month. I'm funding the NIL for Arkansas, and I just now realized it. And so if they can't pass that savings on to those boys and get them a good football team, then shame on them. So, yeah.
And let me ask you this, Shane. If Arkansas won 10 games last year, would NIL be a problem?
No.
Hell no. People would be given. And that's the whole point. You got to win. You got to win to get this. You can't say, give me the money first, because, again, there's plenty of examples, Shane, how much A&M spent on their recruiting class, and what was that worth? You know what I mean? So you got to deliver before you put your hand out for 10,000 loyal fans that are probably already buying every shirt, every poster, every on and on and on. You know what?
Yeah, well, they just rolled out the Tennessee one. Did you see that? I don't know if you talked about that or we're getting into it.
Right.
But again, Tennessee fans hate it too. For those that aren't paying attention, they're going to start upping the ticket sale price, and that percentage is going to go toward this NIL. And then, again, fans hate it, absolutely hate it, but they're taking it a little bit better than Arkansas fans because at least they've got a winning product to see what their money's going toward.
Shane, they're saying I should take a drink every show of whiskey till Napier's fired. I may just do it if he's still there next week. I'll do it. But 10%, Shane. That's wild. But there's one other one. I don't even know if you caught this one, Shane. So I wanted to throw this your way and the audience way because this is potentially a game changer. They have changed the laws in Georgia.
Yeah.
They have changed the laws in which the governor has signed an executive order saying that no NCAA, no SEC, no one can interfere with Georgia schools facilitating or offering NIL compensation to athletes. So in layman's terms, what does that mean, Shane? Georgia and Georgia Tech can pay players immediately.
Oh, wow.
And can help them acquire NIL. That's my understanding. So here's Kirby. Kirby was asked about it, and I thought it was pretty interesting. Asked specifically about this, and he's like, well, has NIL cost you players before? Here's his answer. Oh, Shane, they're saying the video's not working. Damn it. I think it's screwed up when I started, so I apologize. But basically, he says, I'll just summarize all these damn videos. He said NIL has cost them, but at Georgia, they don't want to be completely run by. We're not going to outbid for every single player, because once you start getting into that game, you're getting the wrong kids for the wrong reasons. Is essentially the point he's trying to make. But he says this will help. This will help when they have essentially a target and they are getting outbid. This will help make up the difference.
Well, he's not wrong, Mike, but again, this isn't the only state doing it. I'm not saying that. I mean, it's a fertile ground, brother. I mean, there can be
Liquid says we need to get some NIL to fix our videos.
So I think we're going somewhere here, and everybody knows it. We've talked about it. It is a pay to play, but eventually this is going to be a budget of the college football programs, pitching in to pay these kids.
Cousin Morgan is a Texas fan. He says, we know the tech support guy went to A&M. Hey, we had a big donation though. I want to get back to that. I missed it at the time, Shane. But shout out to
Thanks,
Cousin Too Slick. Appreciate you. Just gave us $50. Questions for you, fine gentlemen. Most overrated coach in the SEC, and why is it Lane Whiffen? That's a great question, Shane. And until he wins a damn big game, it's fine to question. I don't even know if you can see these schedules that I've got, these beautiful schedules I work so hard on, and it doesn't work on damn YouTube. But I would not say Lane Kiffin is the most overrated, would you?
No.
You hesitated there.
I mean, he's got a point. The big games and overrated is also when you're put on a pedestal. You know what I'm saying? It's like you could simply say, well, Billy Napier's overrated. He shouldn't be down there in Florida. Well, he's no longer on a pedestal, man. He's underneath the damn ground over there. So he's no longer overrated. We know exactly what we got. I think of coaches like Coach Kelly, maybe.
Yep, that was right where I was going, Shade.
I'm piling in on LSU today, buddy.
You went from playoff or bust to they're garbage or coach overrated, but
I gave him a lot of hype, coming in year one, going to an SEC championship, what he was able to do last year. But then you start dissecting the talent he actually had. He had Jake Daniels on his football team, and that's the best we got. So the defense was atrocious, still is. So, I'm starting to think maybe Coach Kelly right now.
Cousin Nathan said, if everyone in the chat would just send Mike and Shane $100, they could make these videos work. I appreciate that. I agree with that sentiment.
Pay these prices and please pay no more.
But really, I mean, it's just NIL's getting crazy over here, Shane. It's. I mean, I don't even know what to say about it anymore.
I don't. So, I mean, I don't know about you, Mike, but I obviously I see the schools paying at some point. Revenue share. That's where we're going, right? So it's just, but I still think NIL is going to be a huge part of it, just like advertising's part, doing commercials is going to be a part.
Right. So my understanding, Shane, they're each going to have around $20 million to spend on paying players. And that's, I think it's, as I understand, I could have this wrong, but as I understand it, that's going to be like your cap.
Yeah.
And you are not required to spend 20. So if you're, I would anticipate every SEC program would do it.
Yeah.
But you're not required. Vanderbilt could say, well, how about 10? You know what I mean? But now all of a sudden you're 10 million behind everybody else. And to your point, what you were just saying there, it does not include NIL.
Yeah.
So there's still 20, I believe it's 20 million that you can give to your roster, but NIL can make it another 20 million, So this is not going anywhere.
No, it's not. It's not. And those that are ahead of the curve are going to succeed. Just like we talk about Lane Kiffin. That's the reason. I mean, he figured it out. He unlocked the door. Now he's still, he's so far, they're undefeated. The perfect dance continues. But as soon as if a big game is dropped, then all of a sudden we're looking at this as wasted money. Nick Saban said it best, talking about Ohio State.
And shout out Blueberry Jay. He says, and I believe he's right here. He's saying this $20 million, that's for all sports too. So it's not just football. So you got to, and I've already heard, Shane, they're just waiting for them to like make a decision, because what's going to happen is they're going to say, well, hell, women's sports should get half, and the second they say, well, no, women's sports doesn't make the money, there's you another lawsuit. You know what I mean? Or if they say if they just give it to women's sports, half to them, then football and basketball is going to sue and say, well, what the hell? We bring in 90-something% of the money. So everybody's got a lawsuit ready to go, is my understanding.
Oh, that sucks, man. That sucks. You get lawyers involved. I knew it, Mike. I knew it. We should have just been sticking to the Chick-fil-A bags. Everything was fine. Everybody was happy.
That's exactly what Cousin Anthony says. Bring back the McDonald's bags. You know what?
Jeez.
All right, so let's get into the previews here, Shay. I had all these clips. It was going to be a great show. Apparently, none of this is working at all. So
can you play it on your phone and like hold it up?
I think I could. But let's start where everybody wants to start here, Shay. Tennessee at Oklahoma. Yeah. And, man, I've got these this is basically just a dumbed-down version of all the numbers here, Shane. So I thought this was a prettier version.
For Shane version.
But, the numbers are heavily skew Tennessee. Yeah. It just, not in every category, but just the ones that I've got here: pass offense, pass defense, rush offense, rush defense, third and fourth down offense, third and fourth down defense. Tennessee favored in all 6 of those categories. It's the only conference game that is like that, to where one side favors all 6. So let me ask you this, Shane, because the consensus from non-Oklahoma people and non-Tennessee, I'm going right down the middle. Hell, I've reached out to SEC Network people, you know what I mean? Just for like, what are you thinking about this game? Everybody I talk to says Tennessee, not only are they going to win, they're going to win comfortably. But you and I know damn well, Shane, for following this team for so many years, the second you tell me that Tennessee's got, a 90% chance, or whatever, as soon as they're picked to win a game, that's when they rip your heart out, isn't it?
Yeah, I know, man. They got a word for it. Our initials, BVS. Battered Ball Syndrome. We've all been lured in, like, this is our coach, man. Butch Jones is he's got it, man. There's no way we're gonna lose. Then all of a sudden you're just slapped in the face, and then 3 years of shitty football, more than that. But I'm right there with you, man. I'm looking at this game. Yes, it's a game we should win. But I've been told about that with Georgia State before. Somebody's told me that with Arkansas before. This is a team you should win, and then all of a sudden, Georgia, the hobnail boot. We were told we were supposed to win that football game, Mike, but we didn't. So yes, there's a little bit of me that has a reserve for this football game, just because I know as soon as I've got my hopes up in any of these matchups, Tennessee does what Tennessee does, but. I don't know, Mike. It feels like a different year. It feels like a different regime. It feels like a different swagger coming from this group. And I'm the little devil's still there on my shoulder, but he's smaller and smaller every day.
Right. Now let me spin it the other way, though. First SEC game.
Yeah.
It's at home. Like I just said, all your fans think you're going to win. So I'm not calling out Sooner fans, but it's going to be us against the world. I would be surprised. I mean, not that these people really matter, but their picks are about as valid as ours. But when they do the game day pickers, I would imagine most of them will probably pick Tennessee, right? So just case in point, everybody is going to be picking against Oklahoma. That's got to be all the motivation in the world for a team and a program out to prove they belong in this conference. I don't know. From a motivational standpoint, I love Oklahoma in this spot. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm not saying they don't have anything to lose, but it's kind of felt that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, just go out here and play some football, man. And this defense, I think they've heard it all week. They're about to face the greatest offense, God's gift to football coming into town. And I'm telling you right now, brother, Oklahoma defense is a damn buzzsaw. And I'm just. if you're looking at it from an Oklahoma standpoint, I think that, yeah, say what you want. You know, look at the last 2 games that we played. Look at the results. Look what happened. You know, so look at Vegas. Vegas is, I mean, this isn't a 25-point football game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Vegas knows it's going to be close. It's a 1-score game. So, yeah, man, I'm right there with you. I think Oklahoma has kind of got the monkey off their back. Now, if they steamrolled the first 3 teams like we thought they would, you know, there was no trouble with Houston, no trouble with Tulane, then all of a sudden I think there's a little bit more pressure on Venables in making this game happen. But I feel like the pressure's kind of off of them right now.
Cousin Bobby, he says it perfectly, Shane. Man, I'm all screwed up with my schedules here. If you don't believe Tennessee is good, just ask them. You know?
Absolutely, man. I think my algorithm's all messed up on the Twitters because that's all I see is hot reels.
Right. And again, I had a lot pulled up here, Shane. But again, Heupel, I mean, he's among the worst damn interviews in the SEC. Now, people don't care. I mean, why would you? Right. You win football. I mean, Kirby's the worst, probably. He's no personality whatsoever, but who cares? He wins games and wins championships. But this week was different, Shane. He was asked repeatedly about Oklahoma. He's making jokes. He's smirking. He's not saying anything bad other than, I expect him to be quiet in respect to me and my team. Again, I play the clip, but the clips ain't working apparently. But, you know, that tells me, Shane, without a shadow of a doubt, that this means something special to him. And he's not saying it, but, you know, it's kind of obvious. But just the fact that his behavior in all the years what is this, year 4? He's basically never cracked jokes or anything like that in one of these press conferences, yet he's doing it. This means a lot to Heupel.
And you see some of these games with personal coaches. You know, when you got players coach, when you have something that maybe have a little more emotions involved, there's a little extra mustard in the tank, if you know what I mean. So, and that's when you look at like Beamer in South Carolina against Kentucky. That game means more to South Carolina than probably it does, you know, the fans. You know, just because it's personal for the coach, it's personal for the players. You see it after these games, the celebrations that they're having. So, yeah, man, I feel like this kind of plays well for Tennessee. This is a classic trap game for the Volunteers. This is, you know, they've all been told how great they are, how great their offense is, how great their defense is. Like I said, there's a million hot videos talking about the national championship run that they're on, but they've not been tested, Mike. The Volunteers have not been tested. And you say, well, Shane, NC State's a top 25 team. What if they're a shitty team? You know? I mean, I've been told NC State's good a lot, and they're not sometimes, most of the times. So what if Tennessee hasn't truly faced a team like Oklahoma yet, and then all of a sudden you get punched in the mouth? What happens if you go 3 and out? What happens if you can't just hand it off to Sampson and get 100 yards rushing? So there's a lot of things that could happen in this football game, but I think it helps that Josh Heupel has that little emotions attached to this thing. It means more. He was fired from this place. You know, a team that he blood, sweat, and tears. He would still be there, man. He'd probably be the head coach right now if they gave him the opportunity. But now there's a little extra in this game for him, and I think that's going to feed into the players.
Right. Hey, shout out Rockin' Rod Sooner here. Appreciate you, cuz.
Thanks, cuz.
It's going to be a gay boober Sooner Magic, cuzzy Shane. And this was my favorite, cousin Richard here. I mean, the commenters are funnier than we are, Shane. I heard Heupel's going to run onside kick in the pregame warm-ups. But how about for Brent Venables, Shane? Because again, they're all in on Venables in Oklahoma, but this would be, I think, a real opportunity. I mean, he beat Sarkisian last year. You know, he is capable of winning these big games. But I think nationally, I think there's still a lot of people that are wondering, especially after the start to this season. You see it in the comments, man. Non-Oklahoma people are like, get this Joker team out of here. They suck, yada, yada, yada. This will be an opportunity for Brent Venables, I think, to really showcase to the nation that he is a rising, maybe even an elite coach, if not rising to that stature. A lot on the line for Brent Venables.
Yeah, I think this is a big reality check too for both teams, but more importantly, Venables here. It's, you know, because there's still some. I mean, they're behind him. You know, they want to support him. They want to think that this is the future. But all it takes is a couple bloodbaths. All it takes is a couple of just ass beatings, and then all of a sudden that luxury, that freedom you had, that non-hot seat talk goes right out the window. So you got to be real careful here. I think if you're talking about pressure, I think there is a little pressure on Brent here just to kind of hit the ground running. First game in the SEC, show them that he is like you said, a top shelf coach, not just another name at a random school.
Cousin Bloodline here. Cousin Shane's just trying not to jinx the Vols. We all know what's about to happen. Let me ask you this, though, Shane, because Tennessee is so good on the ground.
Yeah.
But that is the strength of Oklahoma, stopping the run.
Right.
Would you... I guess, I mean, it doesn't matter. Tennessee's still going to attempt to run the football. But I guess what I'm asking you is, if you're Oklahoma defense, do you overcommit to the run and make Nico beat you, or do you let them like kind of nickel and dime you like they do so well with the running game? How would you attack Tennessee's defense, I guess, is the question.
Well,
offense.
Yeah, I think you got to punch him in the mouth. You know, Tennessee is expecting to be the most physical team here, and that defense is very, very damn physical. You know, both sides. But I feel like that's where you got to get them. You got to get Nico rattled. We haven't seen that. You know, can he be? I don't know. Everybody's talking about tanking for Nico next year. You know what I'm saying? But again, this is a young quarterback that's not truly been on a road. I mean, you could count the bowl game. I guess you could kind of count NC State, but this is a true road environment here. How does he handle under the pressure? And that's if I'm Brent, I'm bringing the damn house. I'm bringing more pressure. I'm going to force him to make decisions because he's made a couple of bad decisions. You know, not too many, very few, but all it takes is one or two to kind of get this momentum back. So, yeah, you asked about the running game. That comes with it, but if Nico's rattled and they ruin that part, then naturally they're going to be able to stop this rushing attack.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I can't wait for it, Shane. It's going to be a massive game.
It's going to be.
You know what?
It's going to be awesome. I'm so mad that I don't get to go. You know, I'm pouting on the sidelines. I'm thinking about just driving straight over there. I'll scalp tickets with the guys outside and get in there to this thing because this one is going to be a damn football game, brother. I cannot wait to see it. I know this is two fan bases expecting to win. And not just expecting win, expecting to beat them bad. You know, there's a couple of Oklahoma fans. I've seen you floating around out there like, oh, shit, you know. But I do think that if you were really to poll both these teams, there's no doubt in their mind they're going to come out the victory. And unfortunately, only one can win. So that's the best football games, brother.
Right. And how about this one, Shane? This is kind of the undercard here, but I think it's going to be a really good game. Arkansas going on the road to Auburn. And again, I got the efficiency stats up here. Auburn better on passing offense and passing defense. But interestingly, I didn't anticipate this, Shane. Arkansas, the better rush offense, rush defense, third and fourth down offense, and third and fourth down defense. So a lot of edges to the Razorbacks in this one. And then how about this? Hopefully this works. They're gonna stripe out Auburn Stadium here with so this will look pretty cool, I would think, in person. This is going to be a big time game here for them Auburn Tigers, but after each of these teams has lost, neither one can really afford to lose this one. Yeah, this is a monumental game for both these teams.
Man, can you know, it seems like three colors get a little dicey. You know what I'm saying? Like I can see two. I've seen two checkered and all that, and the whiteouts, the blackouts. We've seen those, but three colors. I don't know if I can remember a moment that's gotten pulled off. So I'm interested because you're looking at those two rows of white, you know, and you're telling me there's no orange in there, no blue in there, no red in there from Arkansas. Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna be able to pull this one off, Mike. I appreciate whoever took the time to make this graphic, but I don't think this is going to work. But, brother, this is quietly a good football game because I've been saying it this entire time. We opened the show. Who's getting too much hype? Who's not getting enough? Arkansas is not getting enough hype, Mike.
Yeah.
They should be 3-0 right now. And they should have beat a top 25 team. They should have,
on the road. Whooped them, really.
Seriously. I mean, honestly, if they didn't make so many dumb mistakes, if you didn't watch that game, don't watch it. But if you want to watch a blooper reel, it's there. I would love to see the opposite of a hype reel, just the stupid mistakes that Arkansas made in that football game. But they should be 3-0. And yes, did they look a little sluggish with UAB last year? Absolutely, or last week they did. But once they turned it on, there was no doubt in my mind who was going to win that football game. Brother, I think Auburn on the opposite side is still trying to find themselves, man. They're trying to find their identity. We've potentially got a new quarterback here. Maybe he's the life that this program needed. But I'm still not sold on anything that Hugh Freeze is doing right now. We're 4 weeks in, and I have more confidence in Bobby Petrino and Sam than I do Hugh Freeze. So this is going to be an interesting matchup, but I think it's going to be a damn dogfight.
What do you think would happen though if Hank Brown, Auburn's new quarterback?
Yeah.
What if he struggles? Do they go to the bench? Do they put in Peyton Thorne? I mean, that could be the doomsday scenario to where you're juggling struggling quarterbacks. So what in that scenario would you stick? Let's say first quarter interception. Do you switch them out or do you ride it out with Hank Brown?
I think you got to ride it, man. I believe the decision is made, and bringing Peyton in short of an injury or maybe a fake injury, something like that. What?
We just got a $200 one.
Damn.
Shane. How about Cousin
I thought
Rick?
Billy Napier got fired. I thought you read something.
Start with Liquid Flames for Florida, then pick each team's most ardent fan. Y'all's call and send them a koozie. Beat the hell out of Arkansas and Mizzou. Love the show. We love you, Cousin Rick. Thank you so much. But sorry, not to get sidetracked. But yeah, I think now here's the problem, though, Shane. Here is the problem. Hank Brown can't run like Peyton Thorne, and I get it. I mean, Peyton Thorne, interception city, right?
Yeah,
but I don't know. I don't know the Hugh Freeze offense works with an immobile quarterback, and that's what Hank Brown is. And we saw him last week again. Looked very good. 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, in rain, no less. So maybe he's that good. But if he was that good, I think he would have been playing all along. I think this is real danger zone here, Shane. Because let's say they lose or even if they win and Hank Brown looks shaky. I think this may be a week-to-week proposition for Auburn. I really do.
Yeah, but think if you were the coach. You know what I'm saying? Like you're getting a lot of pressure about your boy. He looks good in practice. You text him every night. You guys are best buds. And then all of a sudden you're like, hey, brother, I got to do this. And you roll with another cat, and he comes out and he not just wins, but impresses. That's kind of the same concept DJ came in. So think about where Napier's at right now. As soon as Mertz came out on that football field, half that fan base was ready to – hell, they've been wanting to fire him. But the other half that's been kind of on the fence, they were out. I feel like Auburn could get in that same situation. Not that Hugh Freeze is going to get fired or anything, but I do feel like there's a lot riding on this experiment that they're trying to pull off in the Plains. And if you got a quarterback that you decided to switch on, and if you change him in the second quarter, third quarter, I mean, I'm not blaming Thorne. I'm not blaming this football team. I'm blaming the head coach. Like, why are we even doing this? If Peyton is the guy, keep Peyton out there. Like, if you know he is number one, the best option for this football program, even though maybe you're not getting the results you like on this football field, man, imagine the psyche of your quarterbacks going back and forth like, damn, if I throw a pick, because sometimes you need them. You need them to be a little adventurous. You need a little Brett Favre in them, you know what I'm saying? But they're not going to do that if they know if they throw a pick, somebody else is going to come in and take their job. So I don't know. This is a very, very slippery slope in my opinion.
Right. And then again, I mean, from what we've seen, now last week was a little shaky, admittedly, but once they turned it on, they were able to score a lot. I mean, I don't think you're going to be able to beat Arkansas this year playing a low-scoring game. Yeah. Like, again, I throw this up. Number 2 in the country in rush offense efficiency. And number 58 pass, I think that's a little skewed because, again, Taylon Green I think he's number 4 in passing yards in the SEC.
Yeah.
One of their receivers, Andrew Armstrong, is number 2 in the SEC in receiving yards. So they got playmakers.
Yeah.
They're going to score. You know, the offensive line's been fixed. They're probably going to score roughly 28 to 30 points. I mean, I guess I'm just concerned if we get into a shootout with a new quarterback, new receivers. I don't know. I mean, this may not set up very well for Auburn.
I'm glad you said that because that's my thoughts exactly. If it's a close game, Auburn's got a shot. Like if it's a tight one, like you said, under 30 points for both, I could see Auburn winning that football game and maybe comfortably win that football game. But if this becomes a shootout and turns over 30, I'm all the chips toward Arkansas right now because they have shown that they can do it and they've got the weapons to do it and they'll go up and down the field with you. So yeah, I think the recipe, if you will be to slow this football game, and maybe you don't need a mobile quarterback for that. You know what I'm saying? Just be methodical, move the chains, keep away, but we've seen Hugh do this before, and I feel like maybe that is the recipe to get a football win here.
All right, last question on this one though, Shane. If God forbid, I mean, how I root for Hugh Freeze.
Yeah.
If they lose this one, does all the bad negative vibes from a week ago, does that all return, or will Auburn fans say, well, heck, Arkansas is a good team? Which direction do you think Auburn fans would go?
Well, they're going to be upset. This is a football game they should win. They're definitely, I mean, look at them. They just got striped out, Like I wore this damn white shirt for this. You know what I'm saying? I striped out. We're leaving in the third quarter for this. It's just
I don't think they're going to be leaving in the third quarter, though, right?
Well, hopefully not. I mean, that would be really bad. Something happened there. But
Billy Napier's not coaching them or anything.
I don't think I think Auburn and Hugh Freeze are attached to the hip right now.
Okay.
Hugh ain't getting fired. Hugh's going nowhere. They realize that they've got talent that they have on that football field that they didn't have 3 years ago. That's the key. They're starting to bring the bodies in, and if they can keep the bodies in and hopefully develop the bodies, then all of a sudden Auburn's going to be right there in the mix. But it's these stupid games, these dumb games that Hugh drops, and I'm not saying this is a dumb one, but Auburn fans view it as that. So, this would be a tough pill to swallow.
Just remember, Shane, Hugh Freeze is just 1-900 call away from getting fired. I don't even know if that's still a thing, but all right.
We used to do that. You remember when they had phones that you could go up to? Like we were little kids, we'd go up to I remember we were at UT and we were visiting some art museum or something like that, and they had a phone out there. And we're like 1-800, and we're trying to guess what would be a hot number, Sometimes they would, but I don't even know if that's a thing anymore. But I don't know why my mind went there.
I don't know either. But how about this one, Shane? Vanderbilt at Mizzou. Shane, Mizzou still undefeated, playoff bound.
Yeah.
Favored in nearly every statistical category except for pass offense. They got to get that pass offense going. Vanderbilt statistically has a more efficient pass offense. Everything else favors Missouri in this matchup. But, man, I had a great clip here, Shane. Drink, talking about putting your big boy pants on because he's mad at his team for all these penalties, this, that, and the other. Something he said, and this is usually coach speak.
Yeah.
And it probably is, given where these two teams are. But he said, hell, this Vanderbilt pushes us every year. And he's right. I mean, this is always like a single possession type game. What would be the reaction here if Mizzou wins again by 7 or less against Vanderbilt?
Not good, because people have preconceived notion of what Vanderbilt is and what they've always been. You know what I'm saying? This is a different Vandy team. This is a team that got a little fight. I know they lost last week, but man, brother, you can't keep this one close, but it could be close. I do see a scenario where this is maybe a 13, 14 point win. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Hey, cousin Rick's is pretty hilarious, Shane. You said, I don't know why my mind went to that. He said, cousin Shane, your mind never leaves there.
Just sometimes it bleeds out, you know. When it gets late, these late ones. This is a little. Mike tries to get me in at 7 or 6 because when the sun comes down, you never know what you're going to get.
But here, if people that have not been watching Vanderbilt, this is what they do, Shane. They're trying to run like a triple option type.
Yeah.
They bleed the clock. They're trying to limit possessions. And our buddy Parker Fleming, Stats of War, he puts out his weekly, it's a metric showing how decisive your team's win actually was by the advanced metrics. Tennessee had the most decisive victory last week, obviously. They're playing Kansas State. They crushed them. But the most deceiving loss in the entire country, Shane, was Vanderbilt losing to Georgia State. So, at least by his metrics, Vanderbilt should have won that game. Vanderbilt should be 3-0. We should be celebrating this. This should be college game day, Shane. Vanderbilt, Missouri. If only Vanderbilt could have finished the damn deal that they couldn't do. But, I'm trying to sell this game, and I'm just saying don't overlook it, man, because Missouri they're getting penalty after penalty. They're missing on some of these deep shots. I'm just saying I think Vanderbilt can make us competitive.
Absolutely. They got a hell of a quarterback, man, and that's all you need sometimes. A stingy little defense and a good quarterback, and that's what they've got. And they got a team that's gritty. Now, they've not, I've not seen them after a loss. So I don't know. I'm not saying they lost the locker room or anything like that, but you do wonder, are we going to still have that fight, buddy? But this is like, I hate when people say it. I'm not going to say it. This is like their NFC championship. You know what I'm saying?
Not their Super Bowl.
Yeah. This is like their Pro Bowl. I feel like, there are a few games that you're looking at on Vanderbilt's schedule, and I'm not saying that this should be a football game, but it does set up perfectly for a trap game, Mike. And if Mizzou thinks they're just going to come out, like they're still pissed off that game day wasn't at their field last week.
Right.
That, if you're doing that, stuck looking at the rearview mirror, then all of a sudden you're going to find yourself in a dogfight with the Commodores.
Mm-hmm. Now, I hate to even preview this one, Shade. I really do. But Florida at Mississippi State. And again, surprisingly, the metrics here, pass offense, pass defense, rush defense, and third and fourth down offense all favors Mississippi State, Shane. The only advantage Florida has in this matchup, third and fourth down defense.
Yeah.
I can't believe that Florida has a good defense by any metric, but again, you're comparing them to Mississippi State here. But I asked Steven this yesterday. I don't know if you caught it. I'm going to ask you the same question. Do Florida fans even want to win this game?
I don't think so. And Mike, I'm going to tell you, when I think about this game now, I think about Jimbo's last football game down there in Texas A&M. He won it, but the decision was already made. The trigger was already pulled. And I feel like, I know it sounds crazy and maybe I shouldn't speculate, but I'm speculating. I think the decision's already been made. So win, loss, draw, I don't think it really matters, Mike. I think this may be the last week we see Billy down there in Florida.
Well, what if they
it doesn't matter, man. Decisions
what if they
made.
win by? What if they cleared them out by the third? I don't know. I don't know if there's going to be fans at this damn
right
game.
Now. All week they've just been looking for ways to get out of this thing. Well, we've already used bomb threat. We've already used,
And then I don't. In his press conference again, I had all these clips. Billy Napier's asked repeatedly, have they met with you? No. Have they told you that you're getting fired? No, we're focused on the goal and all this. And then Jeff Lebby said, this is incredible. I mean, this would be a record. I'm not saying we run this guy out. I did question the hire. But again, I'm not saying we run this guy out after 3 games. But he was asked in the press conference, he said, have you lost the team? I mean, I cannot imagine 3 weeks into a career, a coach being asked that. But of course, he said no. Players were pissed that we lost this, that, and the other. But how about this? Because I heard a Mississippi State guy talking about this, and I hadn't considered it. But the week prior, Shane, they went across the country. They played at Arizona State, and it was like 110 degrees. and then they flew back and played, obviously a horrible game against Toledo.
Yeah.
Do you think the travel and just the way that all worked out, maybe that played into it, and we're overreacting a little bit? Maybe Mississippi State is a little bit better than what we've seen.
I worry about this one. Like I told you, them and like Vanderbilt. There's just their offense was there was no film. There was no clips out there, and now we're 3 weeks in, and they kind of figured you out. You know what I'm saying? So there's a part of me that thinks it's more to do with that than flying back and forth. But I understand the question, because when you have a coach like Arnett, and even Coach Leach with the year with the locker room issues we had toward the end there,
right.
I could sense why this question was asked, because it's something they've dealt with the last few seasons. So yeah, I'm not. It's easy to just fold it up. Let's go, But this was a rebuild, Mike. This isn't Levy's team. This is a team that's going to have to hit it hard in the recruiting. They're going to have to hit it hard in the portal here in the offseason. If anybody should be begging for money right now, it's State. For $100 a month, we can get some athletes to help Levy run this offense.
And Tennessee Gator says, yes, we want to win, but we believe the coach in Starkville. That's okay. I also saw someone else said, yeah, we want to keep winning because it helps recruiting. So
yeah,
I get all that. But again, it's just sad that we're sitting here asking this,
And Florida fans are like, I can't believe. There's some of you probably like, I can't believe we're asking this. But I've been there, man. Them Derek Dooley days, there was times I was like, maybe we should drop. Maybe we shouldn't go to a ball game here, So I don't know, man. I totally get the fence that they're on, but it's a tough one too, because it's a prideful fan base. It's they deserve better. That's why we give them such a hard time, because again, I don't know how many times I've said this. Florida Gators, all right, you've had your 100 years in the desert. It's time to come back. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But let me ask you this too. And fair or not, I think this is going to be looked at from both fan bases, almost like not even a celebrated win. Mm-hmm. But I would argue that I think it means a heck of a lot more to Mississippi State. Maybe we could start to turn this season around. Maybe Jeff Levy could show, that the players are bought in, and they're not going to quit on them. Because if you lose this one, you got at Texas, you got at Georgia next. You're probably going to lose minimum by a combined 100 points.
Yeah.
They really need this one, whereas Florida, they desperately need it too, but it's on the road. I don't know. Where's the motivation, I guess, is the real question. I tend to think it favors Mississippi State, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think unless you're asking Billy, clearly he's got the most motivation to win this weekend. But I see what you're saying, and Levy, although first year coach in the SEC, first time head coach, it's like he still wants to prove. He wants to prove people, and he's a player's coach. The players love him, and they want to help him. And I felt like that's why it was such an emotional loss last week. Mm-hmm. Is because they didn't just lose as individuals; they lost as a team. And these folks, these kids, I'll never forget. Well, now I am forgetting. The cuz asked it. He says, maybe next year we'll talk about them. It's like Mississippi State has always been a hot topic on this show, but we've not really discussed it as much because, again, we knew this was going to be a rebuild, but the narrative changes if you come out here and you catch a few teams off guard. You hit a Florida. Maybe you catch one of these. Maybe this is a team that gets better throughout the season. And I don't think there's any fold up in this. There's definitely not any fold up in the fan base. There's some diehards back there, man.
Right.
That live or die. This is their life, is coming out here on Saturday and supporting this team.
Michael Riley says, Billy already looking for a $20 million mansion back in his hometown. I don't know that there is $20 million mansions up there. He's from up here in Tennessee. You know that, right? I think out in the sticks.
Oh, is he? No, I didn't. I knew he's in Tennessee, but what is he near East Tennessee?
I'm looking it up right now. But I did want to, Chatsworth.
All this.
I mean, that's not a big place at all.
No. Well,
I can't imagine they have $20 million mansions up there, do they?
Well, I mean, you can build one. I mean, you know what I'm saying? But I was just making sure it wasn't like in this area, because I have been pretty hard on him here the last couple of years.
Well, now they're saying Cookeville. I don't know. I just Googled it, but whatever. But I did. The only reason I wanted to say that, and I don't want to give away the details because it may be true, but I know things are going sideways, Shane, and I already shared this with Shane. People DMing me talking about they've seen Napier's kids and his wife up here, and I'm like, I'm not touching this one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now this is before flight tracking. There's kid tracking. There's dog tracking. You know, where's the Christmas tree? Is it on the curb? You know, everybody's looking for little signs, and that's okay. I like it. That's why we got these message boards.
Right. Oh, and one other thing. So ESPN's Pete Thamel, Shane, he's a big time reporter. He loves to ruin recruits' commitments for some reason. I don't know what the hell his problem is there. But he does seem to have a good pulse. He's got good sources, I guess is what I'm trying to say here. He did a report today, Shane. There does not appear to be any urgency at Florida to fire Billy Napier. And he's saying, of course, the fans are upset, but within the administration, the leadership, no desire to fire Billy Napier. What would be your reaction to that?
Well, I don't believe it, but I mean, what was?
I mean, last time we heard from Strickland, it was like 2 weeks ago. He said that he's going to be our coach a long time. That's the last thing that man has said publicly.
Do you think Strickland does this because, I mean, he's his last dying hope? You know, his breath.
I mean, he's tied with it. You know.
Yeah, I mean,
I also think it's because they don't have a great interim. So credit Billy Napier for not hiring good assistants, but also. I have heard the case, Shane, where like we've seen it now in this portal era, this NIL era, when you fire the coach, many of the star players basically quit or I don't know if that's the right term, but that's what it is. Or they shut it down and they say, I'm getting in the portal. You know what I mean? Whereas if they're still playing, of course, I don't know how hard they're playing for him, but if they play for him, if they buy into what he's selling, it almost makes sense to let it play out because I don't. You know, people always say that. They're like, we got to fire the guy so that we can get our guy. And it doesn't seem to matter. No. It doesn't matter. Remember, Les Miles got fired like week 3. They're like, we're going to get our guy. They had to promote Ed Orgeron.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's, I don't care how much time you got. I don't know that it really matters, to be honest with you.
Well, and one thing that maybe, if you pull that schedule up one more time, Mike, everybody was kind of back in on the Florida, at least the Gator fans, because of what they saw from DJ at the Sanford game. You know what I'm saying? Right. The only reason we're giving him a hard time is because he got destroyed by A&M. But if they kill Mississippi State, they kill UCF, Tennessee, they had their number.
Whoop Tennessee's ass.
I'm just saying, they've had their number. It's like Kentucky, you know, a lot of, if you still, even though the series hasn't been in their favor, they still feel like they should always beat Kentucky.
Right.
You know, there's a opportunity that Billy Napier, I mean, we talk about how tough the schedule is. Well, it really ramps up in November. October has still got some very winnable football games on there. So maybe I just talked myself into giving him an extension, Mike. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I did. Maybe we should just pump the brakes. You're right. If you fire him now, you know, the Lane Kiffin's the hot one. Lane Kiffin's not coming to Florida. But if, you know, Lane Kiffin, like you said, is not going to leave Ole Miss, especially if they're deep into a college football playoff run. There's just that's not going to happen.
Right.
You know, short of you.
The signing date's December 4th. Yeah. The playoff starts December 20th. And the portal opens, I believe it's December 9th. So you're telling me the portal king is going to be coaching for a national, and you're just hoping he gets eliminated round 1. What if he goes even further? You know what I mean? Like you ain't sitting on your hands till mid-January for a football coach when you will have no portal, you'll have no recruiting. That makes no sense.
Right. I'm changing my list here. Billy needs time. Billy needs time. There we go.
All right, hey, we got a couple other. I mean, they're all snoozers from here on out, though, Shane. But so real quick, UCLA and going for some reason. This SEC Nation's going to this one. It's like a 25-point spread at LSU. Shane, what will you be looking for from the Tigers in this matchup as a coming off a very, very emotional win, game of the year type in the SEC?
Oh man, that they got to convince me that they did figure something out last week, that they did wake up, they did have that little aha moment and came together as a football club, because you're still 2-1, Mike. You still control your own destiny. There's still everything. I mean, when you're in that locker room, you can convince me that they still have a shot at the SEC championship. You can convince me they got a spot in the college football playoff, but they lost the luxury of having that one game. That one game was squandered against USC. It about lost it last week. So I feel like you just got to use that moment that as momentum, brother, and come out here and put a team away that you should destroy. This should not be close. We should not be in the fourth quarter. You should absolutely kill UCLA.
Any concern, though? Because I am really concerned about this defense for LSU. I'm not seeing much of any difference makers. South Carolina, totally ineffective once Sellers left the game.
Yeah.
Now they obviously they came back and they won, but they were still giving up points. They were still giving up yards on the ground to a one-dimensional offense. I mean, that was a real red flag to me.
Yeah, I mean, the defense is going to be the hot topic all year long again. And I know LSU fans probably don't want to hear that, but it is. And you just need to keep you in the game. Don't blow games, you know. And I feel like that's I felt like there was moments, brother. I'm not saying that LSU just wowed me, but there were some moments in that football game where I saw a little bit of what LSU defense can be. Again, they're very young, but I don't know, man. I don't want to just bury the defense just yet, because I have seen progress on that side of the ball through 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm. And then the cruising through the first month of the season continues, Shay. Well, at least Georgia Southern, they're probably not as pathetic as some people think they are. They have the former Southern Cal head coach Clay Helton, who actually Lane Kiffin hired at Southern Cal, but that's about the only interesting thing about this game, Shay, because Ole Miss is going to steamroll them.
Just yawned, man. Yeah. Just thinking about this one, man, and again, we're going to get nothing. I mean, the fans are going to get a show. You know, hopefully they stay after halftime. But, you know, this is the last week of terrible football. You know, I mean, the fact that CW is picking up your games, you know, what's this one going to be on? Tubi? Is that,
I don't think so.
What 900 number do I got to call to watch this football game, Mike?
I think this is on a real network. Let me just double check for you. It is on
Jefferson Pilot Sports.
SEC Network.
Oh, okay. That's good.
But I feel bad because they're going to dominate and no one's talking about them. Maybe that's what they want, but they're having too good a year to be totally ignored. But they need to step up and play somebody.
Yeah, they do. They do. But the Jackson Dart Heisman campaign is going flawlessly so far. So just keep putting the numbers up. You know, try to stay healthy. The defense, I think, is one of the things that I want to see here. I'd like another shutout if possible, because that defense, what do they got, 3 points scored against them all year, or 6? Or, I don't know. It's something really low.
Yeah, it's 9.
9, yeah. No, jeez. What, isn't that something? What's the record? I don't know. That's like Tennessee did one back in the day.
How about Akron at South Carolina, Shane? This legitimately, I mean, South Carolina should blow their doors off. It's a 20-something point spread. But how will this young team respond to a tough loss, Shane? It sounds like Lenore Sellers says he's going to play. I never heard a coach quite say that. Shane Beamer said that today. He came out and said, yeah, he told me he's going to play. So it's like the coach is leaving it up to the player. But this will be an interesting. Again, they should blow their doors off. But we'll kind of like similar to last week, Shane. Remember we said Arkansas, UAB. They should kill this team. But how will they respond to a tough loss? How will South Carolina respond? And I think that's kind of the big storyline going into this one.
Yeah, I think so. You don't want to Old Dominion this thing either. Just this is a team you should put away. This is a team that Sellers should never run in. This is a team that he should be out by halftime. A lot of these starters should be out by halftime. We need to be thinking about this as a luxury week, a bye week, if you will, because there is some dings, man. There's some players over there that are begging for a bye week here. Don't make this be a fourth quarter matchup.
Right, and then Bowling Green at A&M, Shane. I just saw a comment in the comment section. What's the quarterback status? They're still saying Connor Wigman day to day, so no real update. But I would anticipate they'll continue to go with Marcel Reed. Now this is the team, Shane. Bowling Green, watch out. They pushed Penn State to the limit about 2 weeks ago. And their quarterback is former Missouri quarterback Connor Bazelak. So they got some talent on here, Shane. But, again, we should blow this team out. We got our confidence back after going on the road, taking care of business, beating the Gators. But, yeah, I mean, what do you say? Let's say, what would you do with the quarterbacks? If Wigman's 100% healthy, would you roll him out there or would you stick with Marcel Reed, who looked great last week?
Well, again, this is a coach decision because
I'm asking Coach Shane.
Man, you stick with what's been working, and it ain't Connor. I hate to say it, Mike. There's a chance Connor can't make it through a whole season healthy, and are you going to answer this question week 8, week 9? I don't know, man. You kind of pulled the Band-Aid down there down at Florida Gators, and I felt like, yeah, I think we found our dude. There was life on that side of the football, so I'm sticking with it.
And for me, Shane, I know because that'll be the talking point, but I want to see if we can remain as successful on the ground.
Yeah.
Because the offensive line has been a real issue for a while. Was it smoke and mirrors because Florida was so awful? I mean, this is so sad, Shane, but it could be true. Bowling Green could have a better defense than Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, that legitimately could be the case. You're laughing, but it could be true. So can A&M run on Bowling Green like they ran on Florida? If they do, that's a terrific sign that this Colin Klein offense, that they're starting to get into it. And that's what, I mean, I'm telling you, brother, I know you were all aboard the Bobby Petrino trade, but after seeing this team rush for 310 yards on Florida Gators, I'm saying that's the Colin Klein I thought we were getting. You know what?
Oh, my gosh. But I will say this about Bowling Green. Still the ugliest uniforms in the country. Ugly. I think they should just start over, because when they're picking the colors, they're like, which colors have never been used together in college football? And they said these two nasty browns, and they're like, hey, let's put a logo. We want to throw a bird on there? What do we call it? Bowling brown? No, we're going with Bowling Green. It makes no sense. Yes.
Well, also what makes no sense potentially, Shane, is Texas ULM with this old Arch Manning running the show. Again, what would you do here? Quinn Ewers week to week? You gotta roll out Arch this week, right?
Yeah, you're rolling Arch here. And you know what? It's selling tickets too. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be a lot of people watching this game because Arch Manning's going to be in there. He is not your starting quarterback. You got a starting quarterback. Maybe not a Heisman candidate now that he's losing some games here, but you do have a guy that I think gives you an opportunity to compete for a national championship. And why rush it? All it takes is one or two bad hits in this game to set back progress. So yeah, hell, you may even sit him the following week. You got a 2-quarterback system here, but not a 2-quarterback race, if that makes sense.
No, it does, Shane. And the only knock you could have on Quinn Ewers, is he's injury prone. Mm-hmm. At least in college, he has been. I don't want to put that evil on him, but so it's paramount, I think, for the stretch run for the college football playoff, hopefully for an SEC championship, that you got Arch ready to go.
Yep.
And the more experience you give him now, the better odds you got, because you got a team that can do big things this year.
Yeah,
I'm right there with you. I think you roll with Arch, lean on this defense has been suffocating, and just let Arch get that experience in case we do need him late in the season. But let's say Arch Manning scores 5 touchdowns, Shane, 5 touchdowns, and then next week Quinn says, "All right, baby, I'm back." What does Sark? Does he just put Quinn back in?
Oh yeah. This is Ewer's job. This isn't a race. This is.
And then Ewer's first pass is interception. What's he do? All right, final one here. Ohio, Kentucky, Shane. What a battle this could be. Ohio's actually got a better record than Kentucky.
Oh, no.
Of course, they don't play in the SEC or anything. But, man, can we get Brock going in this one? I mean, goodness, Shane, this has been some rough football. Now, again, Georgia's elite. I think based on 3 weeks of the season, we could say South Carolina defense is elite. So maybe Kentucky's better on offense than we anticipate, but they're just going up against some of the tougher defenses in the conference. Would you buy that?
Mike, I would buy that. I wouldn't if you told me in the offseason, but I'm telling you, brother, South Carolina's got a really, really good defense. Georgia's also got a fantastic defense, if not the best defense in the country. So Ohio, yeah, I think we can score some points. I'm expecting a similar week to week one and kind of getting some confidence back under Brock's. That's the main thing is I feel like they're rattled right now, but there was a moment in that game last week that I felt like Brock kind of slowed the game down a little bit. Even though he was running for his life at times, he wasn't making the stupid mistakes he was making the week prior. So I feel like Brock is slowly becoming a good quarterback.
How many points, though, would it take for you to be concerned? Like if Kentucky against Ohio scores 20 points, and this is all offense, no pick sixes, nothing like that. Would you start to be, or I mean, would it? Do you need to see more of that? Less? What? Where are you at there?
No, I got to see more. This has got to be a 30.
I almost said 14
plus game. Yeah. No, I got to see some points here because anything less than 20, then I'm starting to question maybe not just Brock. I mean, I know he gets all the heat, but maybe this play calling. Yeah.
Bobby says 2 points.
2 points.
Yeah,
we got to have some offense, man. They got some weapons. I know they want to try to get them the rock, but we saw a little bit of it week one. We've not got to see it yet, so I think this is a good shot to let them stretch out a little bit.
All right, brother. Hey, well, we went long on this one. Remember, everybody, we're going to have double shows tomorrow. Steven Lass is going to make his picks for the weekend. We're going to do a mailbag show.
Yes, sir.
Great time here. And stay locked in on the channel. We got several. I got 3 interviews scheduled. One already in the bank coming to the channel. So be on the lookout for that. It'll be later in the week. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the road and publish those bad boys to give you guys some content.
Yeah.
So on Fridays is kind of what I'm thinking. But besides heading over to mybookie.ag today, that promo code SEC. Besides that, Shane, any other message before we jump off here?
No, I had an iPhone update. I just realized I can send messages to you. So I'm going to send you one at like 5 in the morning and say, hey, just got finished working out. Just kind of like you're doing the videos. But hey, man, I appreciate all the content. Be sure to get those questions. Mike's going to post it here in a minute. Tomorrow's a mailbag question. So let's get those in. And the best ones get asked. So we'll be on Twitter. You can send it to YouTube, all that stuff. But
yeah, the cousins, official members, they get every question answered too. So that's just a little added bonus for you guys.
That's right, man. Oh, brother, we're ready. I'm ready. I'm pumped up, ready to answer those questions. But I'm ready for some football, man. We got some really good games this weekend.
Yep. All right, brother. Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate each and every one of you. We'll catch you on the next one.
All right. See you guys. Go Vols. All right.